Hey class, this is Dr. Velez, and I hope you're doing well for your first week. Welcome to your group in substance addiction treatment class. I really am glad to have you, and I hope you had a great summer. Um, so this is one of my favorite classes and topics, and I think it's uh, in reading your posts, I sense that some of you have had some experience, and others have some anxiety around around doing group work, which is absolutely normal when you're learning to become a therapist and you know being that substance abuse treatment, one of the gold standards for addiction treatment is actually group work, and so it's really important to to learn the processes of really becoming um, really competent in how you facilitate groups and how you run groups. Um, a lot of folks are new to this, and so don't be nervous. You're going to get skills with practice and time, but the fundamental thing you need to know as an introduction to this course is that group work is the standard, and you know um, the more that you do it, the more proficient you get, and you're going to also, I think, have a fresh breath of air knowing that um, if you're running group right, you're not the one talking, and so the patients are talking. Our job in group is to be a facilitator, and so we facilitate movement, we're listening, and we're moving the group through. So let's talk about some basic concepts though of group work. And so let's talk about types of group in substance abuse treatment. So there's process group, which is really where you put your therapist hat on and you're doing some deep dive into feelings and how people are doing in care, and you're running group through the lens of a therapist, but you're also validating feelings and emotions, because when you're in recovery, a lot of these things come up to the surface, and you're no longer using substances to mask those feelings. So a process group is often, many agencies and many treatment centers do a process group or two a day. At least one is good. And so there's psychoeducation groups where you're actually teaching. You're an educator, and you're using a curriculum, maybe an evidence-based curriculum, to help run the group and teach them skills, albeit early recovery skills, and relapse prevention skills or aftercare skills. Um, some other types of groups are also, maybe you're co-facilitating peer support groups. And so you have someone with you who has some life experience if you're not in recovery, which you don't have to be to do this work. And so you're doing some peer support groups. So there's a lot of different types of groups. We also do talking circle groups where I'm at, and we do a lot of groups with the population that really try and balance process, emotions, skill building, and you're not heavy all the time. So one of the things about substance abuse group too is that we're providing a lot of support for one another in the group. So people are hearing other people experience the same thing that they're experiencing. I'm experiencing shame. I'm experiencing guilt. I'm experiencing also, I thought I was in this alone. So groups really limit folks in isolation. So you reduce isolation experience with substance abuse by putting folks together, and so they're witnessing others in recovery, and they're providing useful information to one another, right? So it's almost like a cohort or a family-like experience. As they start getting closer to one another in the group, they start bonding. So think of these things like the first stage of a group is, forming the group, and then there's the first stage is, storming, bringing people together. There's a little bit of tension. People are getting to know each other, and then after a few weeks, the group starts to form a little bit, and then the group in the end starts to really perform, and that's where you really want your groups to be. And then norming is the final stage. So, but again, you have advantages in group. You're providing encouragement and support and coaching and reinforcement. They're learning new social skills. And so effectively confronting substance use in front of other people, so the other folks in the group become the power of the group and hold others accountable to what they said and what they do. And so, and again, think about that, the psychoeducational development you're providing when you need to become the expert at facilitating groups to provide and teach skills to folks, right? And so there's a lot of skill development that happens in group. Again, there's cognitive behavioral skills that happen in group. And we're providing that interpersonal process and support. And so I really welcome you to class. This is a really exciting class, and I really want you to feel comfortable. I'm gonna send you a lot of videos so that you can kind of start looking at what does group feel like, what does group sound like, what is this process like. And so it's not really a mystery. One of the things that we have is when we start group, we have a group check-in, and I start groups when I do groups as, hey, let's have a check-in, maybe a 1-word or a 2-word check-in. Give me 2 words that you're feeling today. We check in. And then what you're doing is you're listening for themes, and you're providing response to individuals and the group itself. And so you're not leaving everybody out. So we'll talk more about the skills of the group as you're facilitating group. And but I really wanted to get on today and just welcome you and really understand that you're not alone. This is one of the most nerve-wracking kind of things we do as early therapists. And so what's really important is you find a place that you really want to be in your practicum, in your internship, that teaches you and exposes you to these things, and then you practice that, because practice plus good supervision, practice and good supervision, those are the 2 things that develop competence and confidence. And so again, welcome to class. Hope you all are doing well, and so we'll get through this together, okay? You're also, just to avoid any confusion, you're going to see videos from Dr. Lazarowitz, who had preloaded videos in this, but I'm also going to be uploading videos per week as well, so you'll hear from both of us. And so as I start taking over some of these classes, I'll be making my own videos. And so, but again, her videos are great, and it offers a unique perspective. But welcome to class, and if you have anything, just let me know. All right, have a great week.